Hello, friends. Life is moving at such a pace right now that sometimes we feel lost, don't we? Our phones never stop buzzing. Our news feeds never pause. There's rush and stress everywhere. It's as if we stop for a moment, the world won't keep turning without us. But let's pause and think, does it really have to be this way? Can we truly be happy at this speed? Let me tell you something. Maybe the answer is no. But here's the good news. 2,000 years ago, the Stoics left us a gift for our times. They showed us that real freedom and true peace are found within ourselves. Changing the outside world is hard, but mastering our inner world is within our reach. Think about it. How can you calmly face the waves of stress, worry, and problems that come at you every day and pass through them with ease? That's exactly what Stoic philosophy teaches, that nothing can extinguish your inner spark. Your strength, your calm, and your happiness are all within you. In this video, I'm going to share with you 5 essential Stoic principles for modern life. These aren't just ideas, they are powerful tools that, when applied in your daily routine, can completely transform your life. If you want to see yourself as less stressed, stronger, and less easily affected by others, you're in the right place. If you're ready for that kind of change, don't miss this moment. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share this valuable knowledge with your friends. Let's start building a life that's calmer, stronger, and far from the noise. If you're ready, let's begin. The first of the 5 Stoic principles I'll share with you for modern life is to distinguish between what you can control and what you cannot. This is one of the core and most powerful teachings of Stoic philosophy. The ancient philosophers taught us that a large portion of our stress, anxiety, and dissatisfaction comes from focusing on things that are beyond our control. That's why the first step is to clearly separate the things we can control from those we can't. Let's make this clearer. For example, what will the weather be like tomorrow? Will it be sunny or rainy? Can we control that? No. Or what other people think about us or how they behave? That's not in our control either. Their choices, actions, and opinions are their own responsibility. But there are things we can control, such as how we respond. Our thoughts, our words, our actions, these are entirely within our control. This is where our responsibility lies. Understanding this difference is crucial, because so often we stress over things we have no power to change. We make ourselves anxious and we waste our energy. For example, if someone at work upsets us or a friend treats us poorly, we cannot change their behavior, but we can choose how we respond to it. The Stoics tell us that true freedom lies here, in mastering our own reactions and our own thoughts. Let's think about this a little more deeply. In our daily lives, we often have little or no control over the events that happen. But the more time we spend focusing on the things we can't control, the more we disturb our inner peace. For example, getting upset or worried about traffic jams, too many phone calls, or bad weather doesn't actually do us any good. So what does this principle give us? First of all, it provides a solid framework for managing our stress. Worrying about things beyond our control is simply a waste of energy. Instead, we should direct our focus and energy toward the areas we can control. For instance, if there's a difficult situation at work, maybe you're unhappy with your manager's decision or a colleague's behavior, that's outside your control. But how you respond to the situation is in your control. Staying calm, analyzing the issue rationally, and if necessary, expressing your thoughts constructively are all choices you can make. Another example, your health. Sometimes you get sick, and that's natural. But how you eat, whether you exercise, and how you take care of yourself to maintain good health are entirely in your hands. Learning to separate what you can and cannot control in matters of health will improve your quality of life. Emotions. They are one of the deepest and most powerful aspects of human nature. We get angry, we rejoice, we fear, we grieve. These feelings color our lives and are among the key elements that make us human. But the main point Stoic philosophy emphasizes is this. While emotions are natural, we must not be enslaved by them. We must learn to manage them. And this is the second Stoic principle. Think about what happens when you get angry. You may say or do things you later regret. You may harm your relationships, and you may end up feeling drained and unsettled. This is a familiar situation for many people. But the Stoics say that instead of being ruled by your emotions, if you learn to understand and master them, you can transform your life. Why? Because emotions often serve only as a signal. For example, fear warns us of danger, while anger can sometimes be a reaction to injustice. But the emotion itself should never become the goal. Our goal should be to understand our emotions, identify their cause, and take control of them. For instance, fear is a warning about a potentially unpleasant event in the future. But fear can become so strong that it paralyzes us, makes us indecisive, and causes us to miss opportunities. Stoic philosophy teaches that we should acknowledge fear, but not be enslaved by it. You can't overcome every fear, but you can learn to manage it. So how do you do this? First, don't deny or hide your emotions. See them, acknowledge them, and accept them. For example, when you feel sad, ask yourself, why am I sad? What is the source of this sadness? Is it really the event itself, or am I exaggerating it? Then, investigate the source of the emotion. This is a thinking process. Often our emotions don't come from the event itself, but from our reaction to it. We feel hurt by someone's words, but in reality, it's our own reaction to those words that causes the pain. The Stoics advise being mindful of this. Most of the things that can harm you are not aimed at you, they are your own thoughts. In other words, controlling your emotions begins with controlling your thoughts. The next step is to develop a rational relationship with your emotions. Quietly observe them, look at them deeply, and don't let them control your life. This is not only about staying calm, but also about making better decisions. For example, when you feel anger rising, take a deep breath, assess the situation calmly, and only then speak. This simple practice will reduce tension in your life and create healthier communication in your relationships. Another benefit of this principle is that as you learn to control your emotions, your inner peace will grow. You'll become more understanding and balanced toward yourself and the world around you. In the long run, this leads to happiness and harmony. Remember, the goal of Stoic philosophy is not to suppress emotions, but not to be enslaved by them, to recognize them, understand them, and guide them. In daily life, you can apply this principle by asking yourself small but powerful questions. What does this emotion mean for me? How can I respond in a way that makes the situation better? These simple steps will make you emotionally stronger. Building a healthy relationship with your emotions will make both you and those around you happier and calmer. The challenges and trials we face in life can sometimes be so heavy that accepting them feels impossible. But the ancient Stoics taught that these difficulties are, in fact, our greatest teachers. And this is the third principle. They test us, but at the same time, they bring out our inner strength, our patience, and our wisdom. Think about it. Where do the strongest trees grow? Right in the middle of fierce winds and storms. Those winds try to bend and break them, but at the same time, they force their roots to grow deeper and stronger. The same principle applies to the human spirit. Challenges may shake us, but they also teach us new lessons and push us to grow. In modern life, however, we often try to run away from difficulties or pretend they don't exist, but that doesn't help us grow. On the contrary, reflecting on those challenges, analyzing them, and learning from them is what makes us stronger. Let me give you an example. Imagine you face a major problem at work. Maybe your plans fail, or you have a misunderstanding with your colleagues. How do you react? If you simply get discouraged and complain, you've missed the chance to turn the difficulty into an opportunity. But if you ask yourself, what can this problem teach me? How can I become stronger through this? Then you're already on a different path. This mindset will move you forward. Every trial also gives us a chance to know ourselves better. When do we get angry? When do we feel fear? In which situations do we struggle? Finding the answers to these questions is key to understanding our inner world. Stoic philosophy places great importance on this. The Stoics say that the way we respond to Difficulties reveals our character and our inner strength. That's why every time we face a challenge, we should see it as a choice. Will we allow it to break us? Or will we let it make us stronger? Of course, this isn't easy. Human nature seeks comfort and safety, but real growth and progress come through hardship. The Stoics remind us that no reward comes without effort. Another example, difficulties in relationships. Disagreements and misunderstandings happen between people. This can often be discouraging. But if we look at the situation as, this is teaching me to listen better and to be more understanding, then the quality of our relationships will improve, and we will become more mature individuals. Let's go deeper. How do we think and manage our emotions in the face of difficulty? Sometimes, the same event affects different people in very different ways. This has everything to do with their inner strength and perspective. Stoic philosophy teaches that even if we can't change what life gives us, we can always change our attitude toward it. This approach is liberating. You're no longer a prisoner of external events. You take charge of your inner world. And that is the greatest power. How can we apply this principle in daily life? When faced with a challenge, don't react negatively right away. Take a step back and analyze the situation calmly. Think about what the difficulty is teaching you. What new skills or insights can you gain? Ask yourself every day, how is this situation helping me? How can I become stronger? Change your story about the difficulty. See it not as a problem, but as an opportunity for growth. These simple steps will gradually make you more resilient and wise. Remember, the most important successes in life often come after the hardest trials. Facing challenges not only makes you stronger, but also inspires you to live life more deeply and meaningfully. The fourth principle is to focus on values. The modern world is incredibly complex, fast-paced, and competitive. Everywhere we turn, we are surrounded by ads, social media, success stories, and new opportunities. In the midst of so many options and demands, it's easy to forget who we are. Life constantly pushes us to want more money, a better car, higher social status. But Stoic philosophy tells us that true happiness and inner wealth are not found in these external things. They are rooted in our inner values: honesty, courage, justice, and wisdom. These are the values at the heart of Stoic life. They guide us toward the true meaning of life and serve as signposts on the road to happiness. Why is it so important to focus on values? Because the external world is constantly changing, but our values keep us grounded. If we measure our life by how others see us, we will always be dissatisfied and stressed. We might look at hundreds of perfect lives on social media and feel small in comparison. But those external images may not reflect reality at all. The Stoics say that we should measure our worth not by the opinions of others, but by the honesty and integrity within ourselves. Being true to ourselves, avoiding lies, and fulfilling our duties with integrity, these bring real freedom and peace in life. Here's an example. In the workplace, some people might resort to lying or claiming an advantage that isn't theirs in order to get ahead. But in the long run, this leads to inner dissatisfaction and regret. True success comes from staying true to your principles and values, from never abandoning honesty and justice. Stoic philosophy also emphasizes the importance of courage. Courage is not only physical bravery, it is also the willingness to speak the truth and remain steadfast in difficult situations. This kind of courage gives us the strength to stand firm against external pressures and obstacles. Justice means being fair and compassionate toward others, and behaving with honesty and openness in relationships. Staying committed to this value improves not only your life, but also the lives of those around you. Wisdom is the ability to understand life, to learn from mistakes, and to manage our emotions and thoughts. Through wisdom, we can face life's surprises with greater calm and reason. In the face of the many challenges of modern life, focusing on these values gives us inner stability and peace. Instead of clinging to the material world or caring too much about other people's opinions, grounding ourselves in our own values makes us happier and more balanced. How can we apply this principle in daily life? Clarify your values. What matters to you? Which principles are you committed to? When making decisions or facing situations, base your choices on these values. Don't be overly influenced by outside pressures or other people's opinions. Protect yourself and your values. Stay on the path of honesty and justice, even when it's difficult. Remind yourself daily that your inner values are the foundation of your life, and protecting them brings true freedom. This path is not easy, but its results are remarkable. The more honest and faithful you are to yourself and those around you, the more meaningful, peaceful, and happy your life will become. Remember, happiness is not born from external factors. It begins in your inner world. The Stoics passed down this wisdom to us. Live simply, stay true to your values, and keep your inner order despite life's complexity. By reflecting on this principle and applying it in your daily life, you too can become more grounded, more peaceful, and stronger. Perhaps this is life's greatest secret. The past cannot be changed, and the future is still out of reach. Yet we often find ourselves regretting mistakes we made in the past, or worrying and feeling anxious about what's to come. Stoic philosophy reminds us that true strength and peace are found here and now, in fully living the present moment. The past is already behind us. Nothing we do now can alter it. Our mistakes, decisions, joys, and sorrows from yesterday are all complete and unchangeable facts. If we keep looking back and thinking, "I wish I hadn't done that," or "Why did it happen that way?" we rob ourselves of the ability to fully experience today. That constant dwelling creates inner unrest and regret. On the other hand, thoughts about the future often make us anxious. What will happen to me? Will I succeed? What will my health be like later on? These questions can be useful for planning, but more often they breed worry, fear, and stress. The future will never be entirely in our control. That's why the Stoics call us to stand firmly in this moment, right here, right now. What's happening at this very instant, our thoughts, our feelings, our actions, is the true foundation of our lives. Every choice and decision we make in this moment is shaping the future. But what does it really mean to live in the present? It's not just noticing what's going on around you. It's immersing yourself fully in it, keeping your attention anchored in the now. For example, when you're eating a meal, put your phone aside and savor the taste, smell, and texture of your food. Or when you're speaking with a friend, give them your full attention without letting your mind wander elsewhere. This simple approach can work wonders in your life, because so often we miss the beauty and joy of small moments. Living here and now allows you to see life more deeply and experience it more fully. The Stoics also emphasize another key point. Live without wasting your focus and energy. Instead of worrying about what might go wrong in the future or replaying the past in your mind, direct your energy toward the work, goals, and people of this present moment. For instance, if you're working on a project, the best way to ensure success later is to make the most of this moment. Avoid distractions, stay focused, plan effectively, and work with care. This will make you both more productive now and less stressed later. This principle is just as important in relationships. When spending time with loved ones, give them your full attention. Listen, understand, and truly be there with them. People can feel when you are fully present, and it strengthens the bond between you. Living in the moment also brings calm to the soul. We often feel stressed and restless because our focus drifts to the past or the future. But when we remain grounded in the now, fully aware of our breath, our sensations, and our surroundings, we invite peace and relaxation into our lives. To practice this, meditation, breathing exercises, or simple mindfulness activities can be incredibly helpful. Taking just a few minutes each day to pause and be present strengthens our inner resilience and reduces stress. Ultimately, this principle teaches us to live more meaningfully, because life itself is made up of these small now moments. The memories you will one day call the best moments of my life begin here in the present. Committing to this principle and applying it daily will make you happier, more balanced, and more productive. Freed from the shadow of the past and the anxiety of the future, you'll be able to savor the real taste of life. So Stoic philosophy is not just an ancient system of thought left behind in history. It is a solid guide, a source of inner peace and strength for today's fast-paced, complex, and often stressful world. Its greatest gift is that it doesn't just offer theory, it gives us practical tools. It teaches us how to remain calm in life's chaos, manage our thoughts, and guide our emotions without losing ourselves. The 5 Stoic principles we've explored together, knowing what is and isn't within our control, deeply understanding but not becoming a slave to our emotions, seeing difficulties as opportunities, living simply and focusing on values, and living in the present moment are not abstract ideas. They are powerful, everyday tools that can dramatically improve the quality of our lives. As you practice these principles, your stress will lessen, your heart will grow calmer, and you'll face challenges with more wisdom and composure. You'll find greater self-acceptance, inner balance, and, most importantly, genuine happiness and contentment. My advice is this: don't just listen to these ancient truths, live them. Apply them to every moment, every choice, every relationship. Start with small steps, and over time, these principles will become second nature, transforming your life from the inside out. Remember, Stoic philosophy empowers you to meet life's challenges with greater wisdom, strength, and peace. That strength already lives within you. You only need to discover it and put it to work. Bring these timeless lessons into your own life, and you'll find peace, strength, and joy within yourself. Value each moment. Be true to yourself, and above all, remain loyal to your own nature. Thank you for watching until the end. Please like the video, subscribe to our channel, and share these ideas with your friends. Together we can build a life that is stronger, calmer, and happier. See you in the next video.